What if one bad week could erase 5 years of financial progress, and the only thing standing between you and ruin was a number you never calculated? Aurovale is a neon metropolis where every district maps to a financial reality. The gleaming spires of Compound Heights tower over the crumbling Barrow Badlands, and most citizens live somewhere uncomfortably in between. Then the storm hits. A job loss, a medical bill, a car that dies on a Tuesday. In Aurovale, these events don't ask permission. They arrive, and the citizens who survive intact all share one thing: a funded emergency exit. An emergency fund is not a savings goal. It's not a vacation account. It's a dedicated, liquid cash reserve built for one purpose: absorbing a financial shock without forcing you into debt. Nola Crane knows this distinction better than most. A former resident of the Barrow Badlands, Nola lost her job in a district-wide layoff, with zero emergency savings. Within 60 days, she carried $4,000 in new credit card debt. Nola's story isn't unusual. Without a cash buffer, one missed paycheck forced her to carry a balance. Interest compounded. A temporary problem became a permanent drag on her finances for nearly 3 years. So, here's the question Aurovale's sharpest financial architects keep asking. How many months of expenses does an emergency fund actually need to cover? The answer isn't one number. It's a range, and the range depends on your specific risk profile. 3 months is the floor, not the ceiling. It applies to citizens with stable salaried employment, no dependents, and a second income in the household. If all three conditions hold, 3 months provides meaningful protection. For most Aurovale citizens, single income, freelance work, or one or more dependents, 6 months is the real target. The average job search in a disrupted market runs 3 to 6 months. Your fund needs to outlast that window. Self-employed citizens, commission-only earners, or anyone in a highly specialized field should target 9 to 12 months. Income volatility isn't a personality flaw. It's a structural risk that demands a larger cushion. Here's where most people miscalculate. Monthly expenses means survival expenses. Rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, minimum debt payments, transportation. Not subscriptions, not dining out, not the gym membership. If Nola's survival expenses totaled $2,000 a month, a 3-month fund required $6,000. A 6-month fund required $12,000. That gap is exactly where most people stall. It feels impossible from zero. Here's the counterintuitive part. The citizens who never build an emergency fund aren't lazy. They're paralyzed by the final number. $12,000 sounds like a destination. It's actually a direction. Aurovale's wealthiest districts weren't built in a day. The Compound Heights spires started as a single foundation block. For an emergency fund, that first block is 1 month of survival expenses. And nothing else matters until it exists. Nola rebuilt her fund using one rule. Every payday, before any discretionary spending, a fixed transfer went to a separate account. Not a large transfer, a consistent one. Consistency beats intensity, every time, in personal finance. Now, the question Aurovale's citizens almost always get wrong. Where does the money live? Not in a brokerage account. Not in cryptocurrency. Not in a retirement fund. Market-linked accounts can lose value precisely when emergencies strike. The correct shelter is a high-yield savings account, a HISA. These accounts are FDIC insured up to $250,000, meaning the money is government protected. They also earn meaningfully more interest than a standard checking account. The second requirement is liquidity. You must be able to access the money within 1 to 2 business days. A certificate of deposit with an early withdrawal penalty fails this test. Emergencies don't honor lockup periods. But here's where sharp Aurovale citizens talk themselves out of safety. The stock market historically returns around 7% annually after inflation. A HISA earns less. So why not invest? Because a market crash and a job loss often arrive together. Recessions cause layoffs. Layoffs happen when markets fall. If Nola had invested her emergency fund in 2008, and lost her job the same month, she'd have sold assets at their lowest point to pay rent. That isn't investing. That's forced liquidation. Auravale's most financially resilient citizens think about emergency funds the way they think about fire escapes. A fire escape doesn't generate returns. Its entire value is that it exists when the building is burning. Nola rebuilt her emergency fund over 22 months. She started with a $200 monthly transfer and increased it as her income grew. By month 22, a fully funded 6-month cushion and 0 credit card debt. When the next storm hit Auravale, and it always does, Nola's fund absorbed the 3-month gap in freelance income without a single missed payment. The storm tested her preparation, not her luck. Preparation had a number, and she'd hit it. Here's a question most guides skip. What do you do after you actually use the emergency fund? The answer is immediate and non-negotiable. Rebuilding becomes the top financial priority, above investing, above extra debt payments, above everything. The rebuild follows the exact same structure as the original. Automatic transfer, survival expenses target, high-yield savings account. The only difference is psychological. You've already proven you can do it once, which means you can do it again. Auravale's borrow badlands exist because of one repeating pattern. Shock hits, no buffer exists, debt absorbs the shock, interest compounds, recovery takes years. An emergency fund doesn't just protect savings. It breaks the debt cycle before it starts. Auravale's wealthiest districts didn't grow wealthy by accident. Las Vegas transformed from a desert outpost into a neon metropolis through deliberate infrastructure investment. Financial resilience works the same way. A design choice made before the storm, not during it. Fintropolis, a Minecraft world built to teach financial literacy through real-world scenarios, understood something concrete. The best way to learn financial systems is to inhabit them. Auravale works the same way. Your finances are a city you're constantly building. Auravale's Art Deco towers look beautiful because they were built on solid foundations first. No architect decorates before the structure is sound. An emergency fund is that structural layer. Everything else in personal finance rests on top of it. 3 questions determine your target. 1. Single or dual income household. 2. Stable or variable income. 3. Dependence. More yes answers to vulnerability push you towards 6 months or beyond. Fewer push you toward 3. Remember the question from the opening. What's the number you never calculated? Now you have it. Multiply your survival expenses by your target months. That's your fire escape. Not a dream, not a vague goal, a specific, calculable number. Tonight, open a high-yield savings account. Calculate your survival expenses. Multiply by 3. And set up 1 automatic transfer. The storm is coming. It always does. And the only question is whether your fire escape is built before it arrives.